Open session for board meeting 1632 is called to order. Dr. Lake, do we have any changes to the agenda?
We do not.
Do I have a motion to approve the agenda as presented?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, motion by Andy, second by Christy. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? All right, motion passes 6-0. I would like to now invite our Concord Elementary and Idea Center students to come forward and help lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. So if you all could stand.
Yep. You can come on up.
All right, thank you. Tonight we will begin with the Concord Elementary to present their special recognitions and their learning report. I invite Brian Meckel and Matt Boyer to the stage.
Okay, we'll go to the next slide, Spencer.
Oh, so first we're going to do your student and staff recognition. Oh, perfect.
All right, so we're going to go with, we don't you, students or staff first? What do you guys prefer? Dealer's choice? I heard the same thing. Deal. All right, perfect. All right, so let's start with our teacher of the year, Mrs. Trusky. Can you come on up?
So Lindsay Trosky is an extraordinary educator whose creativity, warmth, and dedication makes a lasting impact across the entire Concord community. In the library, she creates engaging, high-quality lessons and learning experiences that spark curiosity, promote literacy, and ensure every student feels welcome, valued, and excited to learn. Her lessons are thoughtful, fun, and innovative, and she's always eager to collaborate with colleagues to support both students and staff. Beyond the library, Lindsay's leadership reaches every corner of Concord through her service on the building leadership team, her work with the Broadcast Club, student collections, treats for troops, STEAM night, Veterans Day, book battle, scholastic book fairs, and other school-wide celebrations, if you could believe that after all that. She also generously shares her expertise through professional learning in areas such as AI and Canva, making her a valued leader, teammate, and champion of students. Miss Lindsay Trosky.
We got to do pictures, Lindsay. Oh, boy.
So, all right, Lindsay, we have. Get out of the way. There we go. All right. Okay. How's that? All right. Awesome. Congratulations.
Lindsay Trosky, everybody. All right, I have the pleasure of getting to recognize our support staff person of the year, Kim Kelsch. So when you come on up, Kim. Kim is enjoying her first year of retirement, so she got a recognition and then scooted on down to the beach. So, all right, so I'll say a few words about Kim. So tonight we are proud to recognize Kim Kelsch for the incredible impact she made at Concord before retiring at the end of last year. Kim gave so much of herself to our students and staff and families each and every day. She went above and beyond to support our ML students and EL students while also stepping in to help really any child, teacher, or staff member who needed her help. Kim led with kindness, patience, positivity, and compassion, and her influence could be felt throughout the entire building. Whether she was supporting students in the classroom, helping with testing, covering extra duties, or simply doing whatever was needed to keep Concord running smoothly, she always did it with grace and a servant's heart. Kim was truly a hidden gem at Concord, and her love for students and dedication to our school community made her very deserving of this recognition. You did a great job.
That's sweet.
So, Kim, we have this certificate for you, and then I know you're retired, but you still need some remembrance stuff. There you go. There you go. All right, let's go over here and get a picture. Awesome. Congratulations.
Okay, now for student recognition, John, if you would come join us, please. This is Concord fifth grader John Schrage. John is a kind and curious learner who approaches each day with a positive attitude. He is a strong mathematician and writer who consistently demonstrates thoughtful thinking and high quality work. Michelle. He is also always willing to help his peers, showing leadership and kindness in the classroom community. Mr. John Schrage.
So we have a certificate recognizing you as the student spotlight person for Concord Elementary this month. So that's for you. And then we don't let you get a picture swag, we just give it to you. But, you still get a nice new Limburg t-shirt. Congratulations. Let's get a quick All right.
All right, we have one more student to recognize. Her name is Caroline, and she's going to come up front now. Miss Powderly, everybody. So just so you get the references, the classroom teachers wrote these for the students. They do know him best, and Mrs. Stryker, she did not hold back on how much she loves Caroline here. So Caroline embodies the Concord Flyer spirit. She consistently represents our core values of empathy, kindness, inclusion, accountability, and integrity, and has already earned 2 flight tickets this year from other staff members. She's a team player who is always on task and willing to lend a hand, helping hand to both her peers and teachers. A natural leader, she is trustworthy, responsible, and sets a positive example for everyone around her. As the big sister to 3 brothers, she brings that mini-mom energy to the classroom, organized, dependable, and always looking out for others. She helps our classroom run smoothly, volunteers during recess to help her former teachers, and takes on additional leadership roles throughout the school. At the rate she's going, we may need to put her on payroll. She is actively involved in Girl Scouts, Concord Choir, strings, and other sports, demonstrating her commitment to both her school and community. She maintains strong academic standards while always making time to be a friend to all. Simply put, she's the best of Concord. Way to go, Caroline.
Caroline, we got a certificate recognizing you as a student spotlight for Concord this month. And then we have a t-shirt for you as well. So congratulations, and we're going to do a quick picture right over here. And then do the back-to-back present.
All right, so we are excited to share a few notes about Concord up first. Let's talk about reading because Concord students are making real moves. With iReady data showing strong K-5 growth from fall to winter and a clear shift toward grade level expectations. This fall, 45% of students were performing at or above grade level. By winter, that number jumped to 69%. That's a 24-point gain and an additional 138 students demonstrating on or above grade level performance. Here's why that really stands out. The percentage of students performing mid or above grade level doubled from 18% in the fall to 36% in the winter. That tells us that students are not just growing, but they are gaining momentum. You'll also notice that the biggest decreases happened to those in 1 grade level below, which dropped from 47% in the fall to 26% in the winter. That means a whole lot of students who started the year just below the mark made meaningful progress and moved into the on grade level performance area. The highest need categories, those numbers kept shrinking too. Students who were 2 grade levels below decreased from 6% to 4%, and students who were 3 or more grade levels below decreased from 2% to 1%. These winter results give us strong evidence that our core reading instruction and targeted supports are working. Slide.
Now let's head back one. There we go. Now let's head over to math because there's a lot of growth there too. When comparing fall to winter results, the data shows a clear upward shift toward grade level performance. In the fall, 32% of students were performing at or above grade level. By winter, though, that number increased to 56%. That's another 24-point gain, with 134 additional students demonstrating on or above grade level performance. And once again, the percentage of students performing mid or above grade level more than doubled from 15% in the fall to 32% in the winter. That tells us students are making accelerated progress in their math learning. The most noticeable shift is in the one grade level below group, which decreased from 57% of students to just 40% in the winter. 40%. So many students who started the year a little below the benchmark are moving steadily closer to grade level expectations. We also saw strong improvement among students with the greatest needs. The percentage of students 2 grade levels below dropped from 9% to 2%, and the percentage of students 3 or more grade levels below decreased from 3 to 1%. Lastly, these iReady progress reports connect to Lindbergh life success skills, particularly identity and agency through student growth and perseverance, work ethic and effort through sustained practice, and critical thinking and creativity through mathematical reasoning and problem solving. Slide.
All right, so now we're going to dive into some more Lindbergh Life Success Skill areas to highlight. The Concord Broadcast Club has had a meaningful impact on students in our school community. It strongly supports the Lindbergh Life Success Skills. After reflecting on the club's first year, the sponsors saw an opportunity to expand student involvement beyond just the on-camera roles by creating opportunities for students to write and edit broadcasts too. So now the program includes 2 connected groups, the Production Club and the Editing and Writing Club. And look at what students are building through this work. They're growing communication and collaboration as they plan, write, interview, and present for an authentic audience. They're strengthening work ethic and effort by meeting timelines, practicing responsibility, and following through on weekly expectations. They're building critical thinking and creativity through editing decisions and student-designed segments. And they're developing identity and agency by contributing in roles that match their strengths. That kind of opportunity doesn't happen by accident. It happens because of passion, care, and commitment of Mrs. Strosky behind me and Mrs. Zide. Their leadership has helped create something that gives students real ownership and real purpose.
Slide. Buddy days are one of those things that really help define the heart of Concord. They're a foundational part of our character education and community building efforts, and we hold organized buddy sessions once a month. These cross-grade experiences are one of our primary ways to explicitly teach and reinforce Concord's core values, especially empathy and kindness, while building a shared understanding of what we call the Concord Way across the building. Buddy Days align closely with the Lindbergh Life success skills of integrity and inclusiveness because students are learning how to notice others, show respect, and build relationships with peers outside of their own grade level. We've seen this come to life in so many meaningful ways. Our Kindness Buddy Day connected to Ruby Sock Collection and a school-wide sock drive, an Inclusion Buddy Day centered on making sure no one feels left out, and a Holiday Buddy activity where students shared holiday traditions and created a school-wide paper chain to celebrate one another. Slide.
All right, let's be honest. None of this happens without great teachers. High-quality teaching at Concord is strengthened through a culture of teacher leadership and shared responsibility for continued improvement. Several staff members served as curriculum authors, partnering with coaches and district coordinators to tighten pacing, clarify priority learning targets, and improve the quality of instructional resources used across classrooms. Our teachers also build school-wide capacity by opening up their classrooms and sharing effective practices with colleagues. For example, Mrs. Hoeing and Mrs. Hickle's math workshop structure has served as a model for K-1 teams, and their approach has even influenced math instruction across buildings. Concord intentionally highlights strong instruction through model classrooms, including examples like second grade's flexible grouping in math and ELA, third grade's phonic instruction, co-teaching, and whole brain teaching. These examples give staff a clear picture of what high-quality instruction looks like in practice. Job-embedded coaching and PLC learning also play a major role. This year, teachers participated in coaching labs, which covered managing flexible groups, unpacking priority standards, and coaching partnerships that tested a writing grading tool and produced shared ELA resources. Teachers continue their own learning through opportunities like letters training and ongoing Apple and Seesaw integration, helping make both instruction rigorous and engaging. We've just described what a strong professional culture might look like. Good teaching becomes visible, it gets shared, and it keeps getting better. Slide. Now let's talk about the adults in the building, because when the staff are supported, kids benefit too. Our staff continues to be deeply connected, helping create a positive and supportive work environment. This year's staff feedback remains incredibly strong. 97% of staff enjoy coming to work, 95% feel valued as employees, and 96% feel the organization does a good job communicating and supporting well-being opportunities. We continue to invest in staff well-being through simple, consistent opportunities for connection and joy. Wellness Wednesdays provide a monthly well-being email and optional activities to promote mindfulness, movement, and self-care. And we definitely keep the fun and the culture too, through Spirit Days, snackle boxes, sheet cakes, and yes, I said sheet cakes, staff games, potluck meals, and routines like chill and chat and walk and talk that give staff time to connect as people, not just coworkers. This culture reflects Lindbergh Life's success skills, especially integrity and inclusiveness, through relationships, empathy, and respect, as well as identity and agency through this, creating a strong sense of community.
Slide. Yeah, good. When students feel connected, supported, and cared for, it changes everything. And our Panorama SEL results tell a powerful story. Concord's results in supportive relationships reflect a real strength in student connectedness. Overall, 95% of students responded favorably. That includes 94% reporting they have a trusted adult at school they can count on, and 93% reporting they have a trusted friend at school they can count on. Compared to similar elementary schools, Concord is near the 99th percentile on supportive relationships. That tells us students experience Concord as a place where they are known, supported, and able to speak and seek help when needed. Concord also prioritizes a caring community through a restorative approach to discipline and frequent connection building experiences. Students report feeling understood by a teacher, believing adults are kind, and feeling close to an adult in the building, all alongside strong peer relationships. School-wide recognition and belonging routines strengthen that even more. Flight tickets and celebrations intentionally recognize students for living the core values, while daily practices like the one-on-one student interview and student-led news program build visibility, voice, and community. Slide.
All right, finally, let's talk about personalized learning by highlighting the thoughtful first grade math instruction at Concord, where whole group teaching, small group support, and purposeful student rotations work together to meet students' needs. Each lesson begins with a 10 to 15 minute whole group mini lesson to introduce the math focus for the day and review prior learning so students are ready for new content. After that, students move into rotations that may include teacher-led instruction, independent practice, technology reinforcement through MyPath, and hands-on games. Students are grouped by similar ability levels, but those groups remain flexible based on pre-tests and daily readiness checks. That allows instruction to stay closely aligned to standards and responsive to student needs. Teachers are able to meet with 2 smaller groups of students each day, ensuring that every child receives targeted small group instruction at least every 2 days. Each part of the rotation cycle is intentionally designed to match the learning needs of the group, making this process highly personalized. A structure like this does not just magically happen. It's rooted in strong planning and thoughtful management systems. Manipulatives prepared ahead of time, a rotation timer keeps everything moving, and each station includes a push-button device with pre-recorded directions so that the student, to support student independence. The teaching team has worked tirelessly to build games, create visuals for whole and small group lessons, and determine the best systems for tracking readiness so students receive exactly what they need. This model reflects strong MOI connections through flexible grouping, data-driven instruction, differentiated teaching, and multiple modes of learning. And it the impacts has extended beyond one classroom, as an instructional coaches have showcased it in action for several other Lindbergh elementary schools. That's personalized learning done with purpose. This does conclude our learning report. It was a pleasure sharing information with you all directly related to Concord.
Thank you very much.
Can I ask one question, please? It's about the sheet cake. Was wondering if there was going to be another one soon. That was my only question.
Guys, you want to bring it out? No.
Just let me know. That's all. Yeah.
I actually did have one thing I noticed in the accompanying report that I think people who are watching should appreciate. I noticed that the learners who have a reading plan grew not just at the same rate as everybody else, but more. And I think that was really impressive, that you're not just trying to keep them floating, you're trying to bring them up. I thought that was great.
Yeah, I appreciate you saying that.
Thank you. All right, I'd like to now invite Dr. Tracy Bednarik-Humes for the Idea Center Recognition and Learning Report.
I think I've been in the district long enough that you guys got my name perfectly. Thank you so much. All right, so we are going to start with our Teacher of the Year. So Laura Machika, if you could come up. All right, so Laura teaches first and second grade in our program for exceptionally gifted students at the Idea Center. And she brings incredible energy, passion, and dedication to her students every day. She has a true love of learning, always learning herself by going to conferences, learning from colleagues, and sharing what she discovers with the rest of us. So thank you for that. Her classroom is a place where curiosity drives everything. She begins each year by asking the students what they're curious about and making a big list so that they can then use that list throughout the year to do their own research projects. And so a lot of kids, this is their first time doing research on their own. It's no surprise that older PEG students like to come back and visit her and help her in her classroom because of that impact that she's had. Beyond the classroom, Laura is someone our entire department relies on. Some of you may have received emails from her. She serves as our gifted testing coordinator, supporting colleagues across both LEAP and PEGs. Additionally, she's always willing to help step in whenever she's needed, from tutoring students one-on-one during her planning time, being the editor-in-chief of the Pegsian Post, and also just kind of providing whatever needs to be done throughout the day, including sometimes helping me call cars at the end of the day. Most importantly, she's the kind of teacher who others look to model. Someone who supports her colleagues, builds strong relationships with families, and truly champions gifted learners. We're so incredibly lucky to have Lauren on our staff. She's been with us for a long time and has been a wonderful mentor to many new teachers. The students love her. Thank you.
All right, Laura, we have a certificate here recognizing you as Teacher of the Year, and then a $30 gift certificate to the online store. Let's back up a little bit so Beth can get our picture.
And then our support staff person of the year is actually on a cruise right now, so she's not here, and I don't think she's too sad. But I just do want to recognize Susan Crawshaw as one of our building assistants who's just done an amazing job with the Idea Center. She's willing to brave the cold or the blazing sun to help at recess, always with a positive attitude. And just one thing to really note about how she's served our building: we are small but mighty, and in order to provide library to our students, she's taken that upon herself to make sure that books are available for the students to check out, ordering new books, managing our Scholastic Book Fair, and she's really made that a passion of hers to make sure that those things are accessible to our students as well. So we're very excited to honor her as well. All right, we are going to move to the Students of the Year, and we are going to mix things up a little bit because some of our students have some things to say. We also brought a thank you banner, so you have that. You can display it or take a picture of it and make it part of your whatever you'd like to do. So, all right. Wonderful, thank you. Okay. So when selecting students to be recognized as Students of the Year in our gifted department, we're looking for students who have shown particular growth in their time in the gifted program, taking full advantage of the opportunities that are presented throughout the program. So they may not always be the top of the class, but they are really doing everything to embrace the gifted program. And so we have two people to recognize. We focused on secondary this year. First, we'd like to recognize Mira Fry, a freshman at Lindbergh High School. And I'd like to invite up her LEAP teacher from her middle school experience, Juliana Sweet.
Awesome. So Mira has wonderful adaptability and conflict resolution skills, and she's consistently strong in her academic performance. When I had Mira, she was kind to everybody, still is, and made sure that nobody felt left out. During group projects, she easily slid into the role as leader, and made it easy for everyone to work together and acted like a glue in so many groups and made it so easy. So she is really, truly a rock star.
Mira, we have a certificate here recognizing you as the Student Spotlight of the Month for the Idea Center. So there's that. Congratulations. And as a high school student, you can never have enough green and gold, right? So there you go. Another t-shirt for you. Let's back up.
And now if Grayson Nadenbush could come up. Wow, you're a lot taller than me now. His teachers also had great things to say about him, and Dr. Valet particularly, who is our gifted resource teacher, but he could not be here tonight, so I'm going to pass along those great words. Grayson is not only a scholar, but he's a leader. He possesses integrity and a respectful, kind, and studious nature. Not only does Grayson do the right thing when nobody else is, but he is a silent leader who motivates others just by being himself. Grayson challenges himself in and out of the classroom and is always eager to give back to the greater Lindbergh community. In fact, I'd like to add that Grayson is an active member of the Lindbergh Teaching and Learning Advisory Board. He would like to say a few words about the gifted program, so I'm going to turn the microphone over to Grayson.
Let's see, sorry, where do I start? The Lindbergh Gifted program has been exceptional for me. It's done wonders, and I've been given virtually peerless opportunities to expand my challenge and my acceleration. And all I can say is thank you. Thank you to the board for supporting programs such as PEGS and LEAP. And thank you to my gifted teachers, Miss Sweet, she's awesome, among others, many others, who have just taken my education to the next level. I remember when I was in kindergarten, very young, and we were tasked with designing a space on a property that the St. Louis Zoo had just bought. And we were actually supposed to present our ideas, our designs, to board members of the zoo. That's pretty impressive, and I just thought it was an excellent opportunity to expand on our creative thinking, our collaborative, our critical thinking, and our public speaking skills. Wonderful opportunity. And now I'm a part of PEG's Capstone, and we use those skills to an even greater extent. So really helpful. They're good for life. They're good for school. So, and thank you to the gifted resource teachers at the high school, such as Dr. Valet. Sorry, he couldn't be here, but he's really done a great job ensuring that all gifted students are advocated for and have the challenge that they need. And last but certainly not least, thank you to Dr. Benark. She has done an excellent job of going above and beyond to make sure that we are all advocated for, and she encourages us to advocate for ourselves, and she honestly has just done a great job of running the gifted program. Thank you.
Thank you, Grayson. Oh, stay up here because you get your picture taken.
We got a certificate here. We got a certificate for you, recognizing you as Student of the Month as well, and then a T-shirt for you as well. All right? Yeah, you bet it. Let's go back here. Let's back up and let's get a picture.
And it is our tradition to have a few more thank yous because we are wrapping up Gifted Education Month in February. So I have two more students who I'd like to call up. Anu Watt, who has written a letter that she's going to be sending to the Capitol, thanking the Capitol for support of gifted education, and then Henry Kruzmark as well has a few words. So Anu, you can come up.
I'm a student in the Program for Exceptionally Gifted Students, or PEGS, a full-time gifted school. I hear that you are considering passing a law that all students are required to be tested for gifted education. You should definitely pass this law. In some districts, children have to be nominated by a teacher for gifted testing. If a child doesn't complain about school being too boring, then they might not be nominated, even if they are in fact gifted. If a child does complain, some teachers have personal bias against some students or against gifted education in general. If you pass a law stating that all students must be tested for gifted education, then gifted students are more likely to be consistently identified. What is school for? All students have a right to learn something, even if they have different needs. When gifted students aren't challenged, they are not only deprived of new information, but also of the experience of making mistakes. However, later in life, at work, and even at college, students, including gifted students, will inevitably make mistakes. And when gifted students go their entire childhood without failing for the first time is very difficult. For this reason, gifted students must be challenged and must fail in order to be successful later in life. Making friends with non-gifted students is often more difficult for gifted students because their brains work differently. Because of this, gifted students will sometimes try to act normally so they can fit in. However, when gifted students are with other gifted students, it's usually much easier to make friends, and students feel free to be unique. This will stop gifted children from feeling bad about themselves. Some people say that the big fish, little pond effect is a problem with gifted education because gifted students in normal classroom have more confidence. This is essentially saying be bored to over-enlarge and self-ego, because besides learning new things and being challenged makes us much more confident. The best way to solve all these problems would be to pass the bill that all students must be tested for gifted education. It will cause more students to actually learn at school and then get good jobs. The only problem with passing the law is that it will cost money, but it will be extremely worth it. And thank you for supporting gifted education.
Thank you, Anu. Henry, if you could come up.
Wait, should I just start the speech? Okay. Hello, I am Henry Kruismark, a current 6th grader in the PEGS and LEAP programs. I've been in LEAP since kindergarten and started PEGS in 1st grade. Tonight, I am here to thank you for being a continuous supporter of gifted education, as these programs have had a major positive impact on my growth and development. One key reason why this gifted department is important to me, and other kids too, is that I am able to learn things at my own pace and level while still being able to be with peers my same age. In PEGS, I'm able to learn a more advanced curriculum, which is also flexible to accommodate my different strengths across specific subject areas. In LEAP, I have the opportunity to learn about things that wouldn't be taught in the normal curriculum, such as Einstein's theory of relativity, mathematical patterns in nature, and, of course, space. However, gifted education isn't just acceleration. Our teachers challenge us with building and creative thinking projects that allow us to experience failure, revise our thinking, and build resilience. We have many interactive projects that allow us students to dive deeper into topics and give the opportunity to present what we have learned to the class. The assignments are creative and fun. For example, in social studies, we have had a project to make a board game based off of the Roman Republic and its government. PEGS and LEAP have also benefited me socially. Gifted students like me generally share similar unique interests, quirks, and struggles. PEGS and LEAP have offered me the opportunity to meet my kindred spirits, friends who know and understand me. In addition to my friends, the gifted teachers also support me, help me achieve my goals, and understand my needs. Their knowledge and expertise with gifted students is valuable in helping me learn. If I was simply accelerated to a higher grade level, my teachers would expect me to be as emotionally developed and mature as I am educationally developed, and to make things easier that I have teachers that understand me and where I am at. Finally, I would like to thank you, all of Lindbergh Schools, and my wonderful gifted teachers for helping me get this far in my education. I appreciate the past and continued opportunities you provide for me and all the gifted students across the district. Thank you.
It's very nice, yeah. Okay. Okay. Everybody squeezing. Okay. I can see everyone except Christy. Okay, now we're good. Yes. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Or do you want to be in the picture? No. Okay. There we go. All right. 1, 2, 3. That's great. Thank you.
I believe you also want a learning report. Did you have something, Dr. Lake? I'm ready. Okay. All right, so we are going to go on to the learning report. And looking at our student growth and achievement, when I do my yearly evaluation of the gifted program, I like to compare our students to similar students. So I look at the average performance of Missouri gifted students and compare our students to the state. So for a while consistently outperforming in English language arts and math, we were underperforming a little bit in science. So our LEAP teachers did an item analysis with the science map tests and have been intentional about integrating science concepts into our gifted enrichment curriculum. And as you can see by these statistics, we continue to outperform in ELA and math, but we are now also outperforming the gifted state average in 5th and 8th grade science, and we are very close for biology. This holds true for many of the elementary grade level assessments as well, but I didn't want to crowd the slide with information, so I just put a sample, and because of our focus on science, I wanted to highlight that information. All right, next slide. We also follow the district compass goals in achievement and growth. So we know that that is having 80% of our students in K through 8 at or above grade level by spring, and then 65% or higher of our students making their typical growth or above. So you can see in math and ELA, we are meeting the goal for student achievement and are on track to finish strong. However, with the new iReady reading assessment, we did learn that some of our students in our PEGS program, our elementary PEGS program, had a few holes that needed to be addressed. So we are providing reading success plans in PEGS as needed and providing reading supports in LEAP so that any student that comes to the gifted program feels supported. So we do things like providing varied levels of text in LEAP so that they can still access the gifted enrichment, and reading is not a barrier. We have read aloud opportunities and graphic organizers to support writing as well as other assistive technology universals. For our growth goals, we are only able to pull PEGS data, but we are on track to meet our compass goals in growth as well. And that makes me really happy because growth can be a challenge for our gifted students when they're already performing at that top level. We want to make sure that we're challenging them and having growth as well. That means that we need to often teach or provide access to learning experiences that are above grade level. And so when we see that we're meeting those growth goals, it shows me that the teachers are differentiating to the next level or providing increased rigor even within a PEGS program that's already above grade level. Another thing to note is that when we look at this data, we do have students that are in above 8th grade level math, and their data is not in here. So just something to kind of consider. All right, next slide. This is one of my favorite slides. So I want to highlight how we are doing Lindbergh Life Success Skills in our program. We've been very intentional to think about how we can incorporate those into everything we do. And so this slide is a picture of our third graders who are studying sustainability as their third grade theme. And they participated in a stream cleanup at White Cliff Park this past fall. This allowed them to demonstrate agency and making a difference for their community and learning how their efforts can have a positive and lasting impact on the community. Ties into everything that they do with sustainability. If you don't mind, I do have a quick video to demonstrate this hands-on learning. And fingers crossed it works. Yes, okay. All right.
Is that other plastic? Careful, Emmy. I will. You're doing great work. How far out you going? Right there, perfect.
This is not natural.
No,
I mean, is that not a great example of hands-on learning, but also like she personally knew that she is making a difference for that stream, getting that unnatural stuff out of the natural environment. So, okay, next slide. So continuing with the Lindbergh Life Success Skills, here you can see our Lindbergh High School Student Council buddies interacting with our PEG students during a quarterly buddy day During these buddy days, students at both levels develop empathy and respect. They build relationships and they learn about those different perspectives from the really youngest kids to some of our oldest kids. It's a great way for our students to bridge that age gap and to really feel part of the greater Lindbergh community, and they really look forward to those times together. Down at the bottom, so back to, I would like to give a shout out to our co-pilot program. A little bit different than co-pilot at high school, but the name just kind of fit. This is our recognition program, and we have recognized over 217 students from our elementary PEGS and LEAP programs, all the kids that attend the Idea Center, and we recognize them for demonstrating their Lindbergh Life Success skills. We teach these skills in our curriculum, we talk about them before they start any work in class, and then we look for the students displaying these skills, and then we recognize the students for displaying the skills with intentionality. So in our awards, we try to name the skill that we're seeing and how they've demonstrated that. I'm gonna read you 2 examples. Evie was great at demonstrating self-awareness while working with a partner and was flexible and helpful during second kaleidoscope. Great job, Evie. So she knows exactly what she did to be recognized. Another example, when another student needed help with something in their daily language review, I noticed Julian take the initiative to help that student. He explained how to do it without giving the answer, which is exactly what we want students to do when they're helping each other. Very great way for students to be recognized, and our teachers put a lot of hard work into catching students, showing those skills, and even some of the students catch others and recognize them. All right, slide 7. Okay, we are proud of our learning community that we have created at the Idea Center. And so I'm gonna highlight just something that we do to kind of help people feel part of our community. December can be one of the longest months. So this past December, we had treats every day at the Idea Center for the staff. And we did send some special gifts in recognition to our off-site staff at Truman, Sperring, and the high school. But we just really wanted to kind of keep everybody lifted up during that month. And we ended the month with some professional development at the Museum of Illusions. And if you look down in the left corner, that is my head on a platter. But it was all in good fun, and I survived, so. All right, next slide. And then lastly, we have been in the Idea Center for 3 years. We have just worked really hard to create the community of learners, a place where people are happy to come to. And when you look at our panorama data, you can see that we get high marks in positive mood in the school, a clean building, and teacher enthusiasm. The students did recognize room for improvement in school rules and students following rules. But I do know that a lot of other elementary schools find that to be a common theme, so I'm not terribly surprised. Additionally, gifted children can be very passionate about rules and often may not agree on everyone else's interpretation of the rules, so that doesn't surprise me too much. However, we have made a strong focus on rules and procedures in our 3rd year, and many of our teachers have reported a stronger sense of community and student understanding of expectations, and I anticipate that that will continue to grow. Additionally, I'm always just looking for smiling faces as an indicator of student satisfaction, and I'm just so lucky to see those smiling faces every day. In fact, we even have grandfriends who come to visit and give us a big smile when they're here in our building. All right. Last slide. Just really want to give a shout out to the whole district in their efforts to meet various needs of students in mathematics. Having a math coordinator has strengthened these efforts, and the gifted department continues to support math enrichment and acceleration. All elementary PEGS math classes are differentiated to provide 2 advanced levels of content based on student need, and throughout the district, we offer several students, whether they are tagged gifted or not, special scheduling or assignments to meet their needs for advanced instruction and math. I've had the joy of working with Mr. Meckel many times to creatively problem solve to meet needs for advancement in his building. Lastly, Mackenzie Blackburn and the middle school math teams have been instrumental in providing both a bridge to acceleration at the transition into middle school and supports to support the entire success when students make that jump so they feel prepared to make a jump going from possibly 5th grade math all the way to 7th grade or even pre-algebra. So it's just been really great to see that happen district-wide. I'm very proud of our amazing staff, students, and families in the Gifted program. I appreciate the opportunity to share again all the great things they're doing, and thank you for allowing my students to also share. Thank you.
Thank you. And now we'll turn it over to Stella for our student report.
Thank you. I just want to say to the students that spoke, your speeches were incredible, almost better than mine. So great job, you guys, and John, and everyone else. Great job. Okay, March has been packed with exciting events and awards for the Lindbergh Flyers. Starting off strong, the Lindbergh High School racquetball team demonstrated impressive results at the national championships. Overall, the team finished in 3rd place in the nation. The girls' team also finished in 3rd place. Seniors Ethan Willingham and Stella Ortworth and junior Lena Meyer were named All-Americans. Additionally, senior Stella Ortworth, I'm not sure if I'm saying this right, Sumaya Kaja, and Emily Ellison were 3 of the 5 recipients of a scholarship award from the USA racquetball team. It's incredible to see Lindbergh athletes working hard and earning these well-deserved awards. In addition to this, all 3 of our concert bands, freshman band, concert band, and symphonic band, received exemplary ratings for their performances at the St. Louis Suburban Large Ensemble Festival. This is a very big accomplishment for the high school band because this is the highest rating that a band can receive. Congratulations to them. I personally had a busy day on March 3rd. I had the opportunity to tour the Idea Center and Concord Elementary's beautiful school campuses. At the Idea Center, I learned that each grade has a specific theme. For instance, we were walking past a classroom watching Shark Tank in their entrepreneurship class, which was pretty cool to see. The Idea Center offers mental breaks for the kids, which they all seem to take advantage of and enjoy. For instance, I noticed stickers on the floor that led the kids through breathing exercises and a calm bubble where they can be alone and regroup with their thoughts. Furthermore, the very talkative bunch talked about how the teachers will give the kids a co-pilot ticket, which we already know what a co-pilot is now, which is a great incentive, and the kids really seem to enjoy talking about that. So, for instance, if their teachers see them doing a good deed, they get recognized for it. This keeps the kids wanting to jump at the opportunity to help a teacher and or a peer out. So every school, I know I said this last board meeting, I asked all the kids what they love about the school. So at the Idea Center, a student responded with, "Some of the teachers were gifted students themselves, so they can really understand me. I just really like being understood," which was really sweet to hear. And later that afternoon at Concord Elementary, the kids told me how they were interested in the community club, character club, and broadcast club. One of them is here tonight. They all agreed how Concord offers many different activities to make sure each student feels seen. Additionally, they seem very interested in their design lab because it allows creativity in the school space for their students. I asked Concord what they love about their school, and 4th grader Isaac said he loves the weekly dance parties in their courtyard. And I bet John does too. Okay. He believes that it brings everyone together, which was really nice to hear that. I also wanted to shout out to the LHS Orchestra for receiving the Exemplary Award at the Misha Large Ensemble Festival. Lindbergh was the only district in the region to take 3 orchestras and bring home 3 gold medals. Lastly, a club at the high school, Foster Advocates, a club that helps foster kids in the St. Louis area. This club, it's a great club. We've been holding a booth in the Commons this past week for donations. So we've been doing a Paint a Pinky booth. So after you donate, however much you wanted to donate, one of the Foster Advocate members would paint your pinky. So I got my pinkies painted. And this is a fun way to raise awareness for this club and also help people in need at the same time. And I think we've raised over $300 this week, which is great. Thank you, and I hope you all have a great spring break.
Thank you, Stella. Okay, so at this time, we'll take a short break for anyone who wants to leave. You are welcome to leave, but you're also welcome to stay. But I know you probably want to leave because it's spring break, so have a good night.
Yes.
Okay, so we do have one consent resolution this evening. Do I have a motion to approve the Lindbergh Leaders Resolution honoring Logan Hofius, Christy Leitner, Lance and Joy Long, Jean Madrid, Ercid Michi, Noel Nations, Courtney O'Connor, Joel Scheibel, Alicia Erhan, Melissa Yeoman, and Steve C. Young as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Oh, okay, so I have a motion by Julia.
They can have it.
And I'm going to give the second to Rachel. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right, motion passes 6-0. Moving on to citizen communication, we do not have anyone signed up for citizen comments tonight. So we'll move on to communications. 7.01 announcements and calendar of events and upcoming board meeting agendas. I do want to start with Dr. Tony Lake, and then we're going to go to Ms. Voss.
So March is School Board Appreciation Month, and so I get to brag on you guys publicly one time a year, every once in a while. So anyway, the community knows this. These are voluntary positions, lots of time, lots of committees, and so being a board member has some great joy. It can also have some difficult things with it as well. And so from our point of view, just thank you guys for your service. It's truly a blessing to work with all of you guys. I believe, have an amazing team and always keep students at the center of our conversations and what's best for all kids in our community. And so thank you for your service. Thank you for volunteering. It's a thankless job, but it's also a very rewarding job at times too. So thank you guys. Appreciate you.
Thank you, Dr. Lake. All right, we'll turn it over to Ms. Voss for everything else.
Okay, well, I don't think that I need to tell anyone that we don't have school tomorrow. I think everybody's aware. It is spring break. So we have spring break March 16th to the 20th. Once we're back, the Teaching and Learning Advisory will meet on March 24th, and on March 26th, Kennerly has their music program. The Communication Board Advisory meets on March 31st. Moving into April, on April 2nd, the Student Life Board Advisory meets, and later that evening is the Chamber Ensemble. There is no school on Monday, April 6th, and it is Election Day on April 7th. April 10th, we have the Lindbergh Leaders Ticketed Event. We have the Night of Jazz on April 13th, followed by the Middle School Percussion Performance on April 14th. The Finance Advisory will meet on April 14th at 4 p.m. On April 15th, we have the Dressel Music Program and Choir Concert. Then we're back here on April 16th for a Board of Education workshop and meeting where our newly elected board members will officially be sworn in. And I'll go straight into the upcoming board agendas. We meet again for the board workshop and meeting on April 16th. Tentative agenda items for the workshop include the compass and budget. Tentative agenda items for the board meeting include receiving the election results and declaring the results, oath of office for newly elected members, the reorganization of the board, and regular business items. For the record items, tentatively include program evaluations for guidance, counseling, and career program evaluation. Truman Middle School and LHS are scheduled to be in attendance for their recognitions and learning report.
Thank you. Does anybody have any report of meetings they attended the past month?
So Miss Christie and I went up to Jefferson City earlier this week. Man, it's been a long week. Tuesday,
yeah.
And had a lot of good conversations with a couple different legislators. We talked to some folks on the General Laws Committee about the SSD bill. We talked with Brad Christ about some of the stuff that's going on around the tax legislation, and voiced our concerns with what that's going to do to local schools. And then we also talked with Doug Beck, Senator Beck, on those same bills as well. It was a good conversation. It was a good time. It's always fun to go up to the Capitol and remind them that it's our house, not theirs. Yeah, it was a good time.
So I'll just point out the 4 bills that were, they called them current critical bills in the Capitol. And the first one's HB 2710, and that's an A through F school grading. So school districts will be graded A through F. the senators told us it's gonna happen. So we might as well brace for it. And hopefully it won't be the governor's plan, hopefully it'll be one that the committee creates, because the governor's plan is very rigid. So I guess we'll be preparing for that in the future. SB 971, open enrollment, does not, we heard it does not seem to be a big appetite for this. So that one's out there, but they don't feel like that's gonna be a focus. Voucher and charter school expansion, voucher's not doing anything. So we heard nothing for those. Those guys are down. HGR 173, the elimination of income tax. So this is a tough one, and the governor is wanting us to become a rapid growth state. And so therefore, eliminating the income taxes eventually will happen. We don't really know when, but, and there doesn't seem to be a connection or a thought process that eliminating that would affect school districts. So I don't know. Talk to your legislators. They have
Seems to be a
ideas.
disconnect in the building between revenue and expenses and how those two things are directed.
How they work, yeah. And then the last one is HB 2780 property taxes, which we're all watching very closely. And it would not only cut schools, but it will also affect mental health, Medicaid, and correction facilities. So adjusting that property tax is going to affect a lot of people. They said the next 2 years is going to be pretty tough. So brace for the wave. And I feel confident with our team and with administration. So that's what we heard. Thanks.
I attended SSD Governing Council earlier this month, where we, of course, talked more about the budget and, sorry, let me go back. And just basically, they talked about their own, talked about their own challenges with things like the county property tax revenues. They're hoping that the state can make up for some of that, but basically that they are dealing with some adjusted budgets because revenue is not coming in the same way because of senior tax freeze and other things that I know have affected Lindbergh's budget as well. And they talked more about their deficit spending and how they have come out and said it is not sustainable. So they are looking at a lot of different options to think about how they can improve their budget to best serve their students. They also gave just updates on their CSIP goals and strategic plan, and then we held the Board of Education election, so just a reminder that the Governing Council elects school board members for SSD. So there were four sub-districts that were up. Sub-District 2, which covers Afton, Bayless, Hancock Place, and Melville. Incumbent Carmen Meeks won that election. She ran unopposed. Sub-District 4, which is Ferguson, Florissant, Pattonville, Riverview Gardens. Incumbent Latoya Nelson also ran unopposed and won. And then Sub-District 7, which covers Clayton and Rockwood. There were two people running, and Dr. Julia Burke won that election. And lastly, Sub-District 2, which covers Afton, Bayless, Hancock Place, and Melville. There were two people, Dr. Daniel Cuneo, who was an incumbent, and then a newcomer, Bob McKittrick. And we were not able to come to an agreement on that election. So we will be holding a special election in June to do that again. And really what that means is that they have, in order to win the election, you have to get the popular vote and the population vote. So there's 22 SSD Governing Council members, so you have to have the majority number, and then each district holds a certain weight depending on their population of students. And so you have to have the number of votes and the population of votes. So Daniel Cuneo won the number, but with the weight, Bob McKittrick won the population. So we went through 3 times and the vote didn't change, so it kind of comes to a stall. And then we will hold another election in June. And if it's not resolved then it will become vacant. So that's where we are with that. And that's it.
In their discussions of the finances, it sounds like they are acknowledging the problem, but do they have any solutions?
Great question. And I know that they are working very hard. They give us lots of information about solutions to salary adjustments, to people adjustments, and they are looking at all of the different ways that they can cut costs in some of their different accounts, essentially moving money around. And but I mean, in all honesty, and everything that they do is also public in governing council members or meetings, so you can go look at that. But the deficit spending is large, and there is no great fix, especially considering that their revenue coming in is now depleting because of legislation and other things. So it's certainly a challenge that they have ahead of themselves, and they are becoming more vocal and more honest about that. And so we'll just continue to see how it goes. As of right now, in the next 3 years, if their deficit spending continues, their fund balance will dip below 14%. And so that can happen very quickly and could potentially happen more quickly if new legislation affects schools in the way that we think it will. So stay tuned.
And when your fund balance dips below 14%, that's a trigger to the state usually to come in.
Not yet.
Is it 14? It's 5?
Yeah, it's 5%.
It's 5%.
5%. So, but the next couple years after that, it will get to that 5% if they don't find some solutions. So, but Dr. Macklin continues to stay student-focused, I'll say. He continues to say that, students will not be the deficit of this, that they will continue to receive the best services that they can provide, and that they are, required to have. And so I do acknowledge that and appreciate that he continues to keep students as the focus of their mission.
Okay, anyone else? All right, great. The MSB board report will not be shown tonight, but it is linked in board docs if you would like to watch it. So we'll move on to cabinet updates. So we'll start with you, Beth Johnson.
The Communications Board Advisory met in February, so we discussed our 4th strategy in our communications plan, which is to positively promote and highlight our district's value to our students, our families, and our community. An individual who is doing that really well is our new Lindbergh High School Activities Director, Sean Irwin, and he presented to us on the work he's doing to improve communication at Lindbergh High School around activities and athletics, not only for our families, but also for our students and our community. He's created game day guides with parking and tickets and logistics information. He's helping families navigate the tryouts and getting involved in activities, and he's even doing things like using artificial intelligence to create an app that matches students with clubs they might be interested in. Really doing a lot of great work to make all activities and athletics more accessible and easy to navigate. And it was really a pleasure to have him present to our Communications Board Advisory and get feedback.
Thank you. Tara.
Student Life met at the last week of February and reviewed the district handbook, gave input on that, and that is before you tonight for your information, because we are going to begin annual online registration in April. So that's an opportunity for that book to be ready to go, for that process to begin. And then for Teaching and Learning Board Advisory, we have not met since the last board meeting. We meet again on March 24th, so the Tuesday right after spring break. We are focusing on our comprehensive literacy plan draft. So we started that conversation with the board advisory in September. Sarah Volter has done a significant amount of work with our teaching staff to build a needs assessment and craft what that looks like, and we'll review it with
the advisory then. We are also going to be collecting feedback on curriculum revision, specifically in the area of English language arts, which fits very well when we're talking about the comprehensive literacy plan, and library media.
All right, thank you. Dominic?
I do not have anything to report this month because we did not meet last month for Technology Board Advisory.
All right, thank you. Brian?
HR did not meet this month either, but we are scheduled to meet in April.
All right, thank you.
Is anybody working around here or what?
Right?
Good Lord.
I know, and Joelle's not here.
Joelle's
so-
not here.
Oh my
The
gosh.
finance committee did meet and.
And facilities met too.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
she said that they got the payment from the county.
Yes.
So you probably have anything to say about that?
No.
No,
I mean, you
okay.
were in
We got the
meeting.
payment from the county. It's late, but we got it.
Yes. And the payments from the county are supposed to be here by statute on the 15th of every month, but since they've switched software, it's like the end of the month. So we're working with them on that. We'll say it nicely that way, so.
Okay, thank you. All right, we'll move on to action items. Yes?
Facilities did meet, and just to put it on your radar, we talked about enrollment, and Brian did updated the capacity of our elementaries because we have a fairly large apartment complex going in at Watson where the indoor go-kart track was at, and the Social Security building. There's about 17, I think, 3-bedroom apartments, which will produce students. There's another 35 to 40 2-bedroom, which will have maybe some students, and then the rest of them are 1-bedroom, which most likely won't produce students. So right now, that piece of land is in the long attendance area. So we did this a few years ago. If you remember, we asked you before we put any construction or whatever, we boundaried the dirt at the half of the old Crestwood Mall site, the neighborhood, to Sappington. And we're gonna also recommend, you'll have that in the future here, probably maybe even next month, but for sure by May, to go ahead and boundary that piece of parcel of land out of Long and into Sappington. Because remember, Sappington is our it's our lowest capacity. They're right at 70% capacity, where Crestwood's around 77, upper 70s, and Long is in the 90s. So we feel like that's the best place for them. So, okay.
All right, thank you. So action items by consent. Are there any consent agenda items anyone wishes to remove for individual consideration?
I do not wish to remove any items, but I will be abstaining from the portion of the financial report that pertains to Ameren Electric due to a conflict of interest. I consent with the remainder of the agenda.
All right, thank you. Are there any further requests or declarations? Okay, do I have a motion to approve the March 12th, 2026 consent agenda as presented?
So moved.
I have a motion by Megan, second?
Second.
Second by Julia. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? All right, motion passes 6-0 with Andy Lawson abstaining from the portion of the financial report related to Ameren Electric. Moving on to individual action items, we do have 3 this evening. 10.01 is the MSD Stormwater Easement Agreement. So to open discussion, do I have a motion to approve the MSD Stormwater Easement Agreement for the Sappington Elementary School site work and campus circulation improvements as presented, and authorize administration to execute all necessary documents and file them with the Metropolitan Sewer District?
So moved.
All right, I have a motion by Julia, and we'll give Andy the second. Any discussion or questions about this? Okay, all right, we'll vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion passes 6-0. 10.02, Construction Management at-Risk, BSI, Guaranteed Maximum Price, Sappington Site Improvements, Concord School renovations, Central Office Construction. To open discussion, do I have a motion to approve the BSI GMP of $4,093,100, nailed it, for Sappington Site Improvements, Concord School renovations, Central Office, conversations funded from 2024 Proposition R bond proceeds, and authorize administration to negotiate and enter into a contract for the same as presented?
So moved.
Okay, I got a motion by Christie.
Second.
And a second by Andy. Any discussion or questions?
I just want to point out, this was something that was brought up in the Finance Committee. Joel made a point to say that, nobody really likes it when people are spending money on central office, and there is a small amount in here. But the reason for that is to allow all of these offices to go upstairs so that better professional learning can take place down here. And so if anybody questions what that expense is for, that's what it's for. And it's.
I think that number itself is right around 600,000 of that is here, and it's to rework some spaces and do some things like that. But all of our professional learning will happen here. The offices down here are going to be converted into larger conference rooms. So, yes.
Awesome, okay. We'll now vote. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, opposed? All right, motion passes 6-0. 10.03, St. Louis County Land Disturbance Farmers Club. To open discussion, do I have a motion to approve the St. Louis County Land Disturbance Escrow for the Farmers Club in the amount of $14,976 as presented, and authorize the administration to execute all necessary documents and file them with St. Louis County?
So moved.
I have a motion by Andy and a second by Megan. Any questions or discussions on this one?
I'm just really excited to see the Farmers Club coming along. I think it's going to be an awesome building.
Hopefully, we'll get the ground dried out a little bit so we can start getting some foundation work. We're ready to go. We just got to let the ground dry out a little bit, so.
All right, any others? All right, go ahead and vote. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, opposed? All right, motion passes 6-0. Okay, moving on to 11.01 for the record. We do have 3 for the record items this evening. They are 11.01.01, official enrollment, second semester count day 2025-2026 revised. 11.01.02, multilingual learner program evaluation. And 11.01.03, 2026-2027 rights and responsibilities handbook. These reports are informational only. You may reach out to Dr. Brian McKinney or Dr. Tara Sparks with any questions. Moving on to 12.0, return to closed session. We have already conducted all of our closed session business. Therefore, there is no need to return, so we will move to 13.0, adjournment. Do I have a motion to adjourn board meeting 1632?
So moved.
I have a motion by Andy and a second by Christy. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? All right, motion passes 6-0. Board meeting 1632 is adjourned.
Woo-hoo.